England now had a big responsibility. She had to manage almost 2 million people in the 13 colonies. She had to take control of 60,000 French-speaking people in Canada and around the Great Lakes, and she had to keep the English colonists and the Native Americans from killing each other. The King of England had a great idea for settling the Indian problem. "Draw a line right down the crest of the Appalachian Mountains," said the king. "Everything to the east of that line would be colonists' territory. Everything to the west would be Indian territory. Settlers already in the west would have to leave." And that was what the king ordered in his proclamation of 1763. If the colonists could be kept east of the Appalachians, there would be no more fighting between the settlers and the Native Americans. "That land to the west of the Appalachians wasn't good for much anyway," said most people in England. The learned Dr. Samuel Johnson, who knew a lot about words and wrote the first English language dictionary, said that the western land that England had gotten as a result of the French and Indian War was only the barren parts of the continent, the refuse, which the French, who came last, had only taken as better than nothing. Dr. Johnson should have stuck to his dictionaries. And the king's idea? It sounded wonderful, but it didn't work. That western land looked mighty good to settlers who wanted farms of their own. The eastern lands were mostly taken. It also looked good to speculators, people who wanted to make money selling land. Benjamin Franklin and George Washington were two of those who speculated in western lands. Now that the French were gone, the English settlers thought the land should be theirs. A proclamation written in England wasn't going to stop people hungry for land. They kept moving west. Soon another line was drawn on the other side of the Appalachians. That was in 1768 in a treaty signed by Sir William Johnson and 14 Iroquois leaders. Johnson hoped to please both sides. The Iroquois got cash and promises. The English-speaking settlers got land over the mountains, especially land west of Albany. But it was just another Indian treaty that would soon be broken. The settlers were on their way west. The Indians who lived west of the Appalachians were doomed to see their way of life destroyed. Fort Pitt, which had been Fort Duquesne and before that the Indian town of Shannapin, became Pittsburgh. At Pittsburgh, two rivers come together and form the mighty Ohio River. From there you can glide to the heart of the continent. It was a gateway to the west. By 1770, some 5,000 colonists were said to have climbed the mountains of Pittsburgh and then headed on west. They were pioneers, and the first of a river of people who began filling the Ohio River Valley. Mostly these people were ordinary farm folk who just wanted to make homes for themselves. Daniel Boone may have helped build the road to Fort Pitt. We know for sure he went to Kentucky. It was on the 1st of May, 1769, that I resigned my domestic happiness and left my family and peaceable habitation on the Yadkin River, in North Carolina, to wander through the wilderness of America in quest of the country of Kentucky. Thousands followed after Boone cut a path, the Wilderness Road, through the Cumberland Gap. It was a southern route to the other side of the mountains. Those who went west were a lot like those who had come on the Mayflower. They were tough enough to build homes in a strange, raw world. They were able to make their own laws. They were survivors. They were independent-minded. Men and women like that were not likely to take orders from a faraway nation.